Hi, I'm a worrywart, in recovery most of the time. However, when it came time to write this talk, not so much. I sat down at the computer, looked at the title that I'd handed in months ago, as you do, and thought, this is a stupid title. It's not intelligent, and I'm not going to sound intelligent, and this is an audience at this event that's educated. You guys are educated. On the stage, researchers, professors, scientists, doctors. I'm going to look stupid, so I thought I really need to move over, change it to something a bit more spiritual. But I didn't want to go difficult, because sometimes spiritual can be difficult, so I went, how to be happier the almost Buddhist way. And I was almost happy until I looked at the font, and that font is cash currency, and I realised that was going to send a subliminal message to all of you that was in conflict with the message that I really want to give. So I had to get rid of that font, and I thought, let's go caring and friendly. That's kind of spiritual. So this font. And isn't it lovely? It's curly, it's simple, it's childlike, it's childish, it's silly, and I will look stupid. So I got rid of that font too. And I was looking for another one, maybe a Buddhist style, a Buddhist feel font, which are hard to find, when I suddenly remembered that there is an actual Buddhist speaking at this conference today. The actual Buddhist. And I thought, I can't speak on almost Buddhist with an actual Buddhist speaking, because somehow that might be offensive, and I don't know if it would be, but just in case it was, so I had to let it go. Then I thought, what can I connect? How can I connect? Give a title to this audience that's going to draw them into me and me to them, and give us something to connect. And then I realised, you're Australian. And I'm Australian. Well, most of you. And we have this in common. That's really good. That's a safe subject. I'm not going to go wrong. So how to be happier the Australian way was what I thought we would go with. And then I realised that some of you may feel disappointed if I didn't talk about beer and meat pies. So I got rid of that title too, and then I was stuck. And then I realised what I should have done was what all these other people do, is research. And so now I am a researcher too, because I got on the internet and I researched popular titles, and this is what I found. Nearly 900,000 people clicked on this title. 90,000 people shared. 90,000 people shared this title on Facebook, and 8.5 million people are now convinced that Australia is a very dangerous place to live, and they will never, ever come here. So what I understood from this, what I noticed was that all these titles have in common one thing, and that's a number. That's all I was missing, so I got myself a number, just a little one, because I'm new to numbers and I didn't want to take it too far too quick, so I just got a little number, and then I added the word happiness, because this is an event about happiness, and one thing I've learned is that organisers love it if you stick to the topic they gave you for some reason. So I went happiness, but then I thought, oh, actually, I've got to ramp this up. I've got to do something a bit different, something maybe that hasn't been done before, so I thought I'll go drama and mystery. So I added the word killers. And that's the title of my talk today, 3 Happiness Killers. And the first happiness killer is... the first happiness killer is, of course, thinking about myself too much. And its evil twin sister, worrying about what other people think. Overthinking things. Obsessing about details, second-guessing everything I do, perfectionism, and trying to be likeable. When I'm doing that stuff, I'm not very happy, I'm stressed and miserable, so, don't do that. I've spent a lot of my life worrying about what people think about me, keeping me up at night, but now I've learned what people think of me. The news isn't good. But don't laugh, because it's not good about you either. That what they're thinking about you is nothing. They are not thinking about you ever. They're taking selfies. They're Instagramming their lunch and blogging about their feelings. You don't come into it. Look, I could be speaking Greek right now or do the talk nude, and 5 minutes after the conference is over, not one of you will ever think of me again. Nobody is thinking about me, and no one is thinking about you. They're thinking about themselves. Number 2 happiness killer is crazy bad focus. And I've got a confession to make, which is I have suffered in my life under a delusion that I was kind of special. A little bit different, not like other people. Just that bit different, but waiting to be discovered, really. And because of this deeply held belief, I had an idea that life should be and treat me quite well. And for me, this should be life. This leaping, joyous through the sunflowers with my smile beaming toward heaven and little wings growing on my back and evolving ever higher and higher, except that when that didn't happen, then I would think, unfair, life is unfair, this is unfair. Me? Hello, universe, it's me, but that's crap. I'm not any more special. I'm just like everybody else, and life is unfair. Life is unfair. Life is kind of actually pretty horrible a lot of the time. There's shit everywhere. And if life hasn't been unfair to you yet, don't worry. It will be. It's coming. And it can be little shit that's around. Like, it can be just, you didn't fit your jeans, or your hair's bad, or your boss is bad, or little tiny things that are in your life. But it can also be big things, child pornography, it can be slavery, it can be horrible, heartbreaking things, it can be governments and politicians, not mentioning any names, who think it's a good idea to drill on the reef or to sell their soul to big companies who are going to trade with their seeds, again, no names. There's such heartbreaking shit around that you don't want to get out of bed and you don't want to go on. But also, everybody's got in their arms this incredible bowl of goodness and chocolate and things to taste and things to lick and great, wonderful things. And that could be a baby, or that could be a sunset, or that could be someone to hold hands with, or dancing, or being able to walk, or breathe. It could be being able to breathe, or shop, or go to the supermarket, or just there are thousands and thousands and thousands of those things. And they're there and shit's there. Both of them are there every day for all of us, every one of us, good and shit all the time. And really, our happiness is going to be, what do you want to focus on? Which one is going to take up the majority of space in your brain? Because you find what you look for. And this is a quote by the amazing Toni Powell. Me. because I couldn't find another quote that quite said it as well. If you look for shit, you'll find it. Because that's how your brain works. When you notice a bit of shit, your brain goes, shit. And then you look a bit more and shit, and then it goes, shit. And then it goes, shit. And then shit is all over you, and then shit suddenly gets on your friends, and then there's shit everywhere, and you've got something to complain about every second of every day. But the opposite is also true. If you want to commit yourself to decide to look for those little things, and other people have mentioned this today, you want to look for those little things, your brain goes, wow, good, and it starts to pick up good everywhere, and suddenly the world is an amazing and beautiful place. Now, number 3, happiness killer. I'm not going to tell you that. yet. I'll tell you in a minute. First I've got to tell you a story, and the story is called The Yellow Car. A couple of years ago, my husband Philip and I were visiting friends in Brisbane. It was late at night. We arrived, we knocked at the door. Mark and Karen live in the house. Karen opens the door, and instead of the greeting that I would expect from someone who's been my friend for 40 years, I got, "You didn't park your car on the road, over the road on the grass, did you?" And I'm like, "No." We go upstairs, we're having a glass of wine, we're laughing, and there's this pounding on the door downstairs. And what's going on? Pounding. And before we even have time to ask each other what it could be, it happens again. So we band together as a team, not going to be killed by whatever's out there, go down the stairs, and Karen opens the door, and this woman who's incredibly angry steps inside the door, points at my husband and says, "Is that your car on my front nature strip?" And we look out the door, and there's this little yellow car parked over the road on the front nature strip. And we're, no, and we get rid of it eventually. We go back upstairs, we go out to the front veranda, and we're back into having fun. And as it turns out, quite usefully, Mark and Karen's house has a bird's eye view of the house over the road with the little yellow car parked at the front. So I am kind of leaning on the balcony, sipping my wine, and I look down and see, oh, a very weird thing happening in the street. Come and look. Everybody, come and look. So we're watching down the street, and that woman from the door earlier, and a man, her husband we assume, they're walking round and round and round the little yellow car. And when they're walking, they're doing things like pulling on the door handles, like really pulling on the door handles, trying to get the car open, trying to open the boot, pushing the car, kicking the tyres, and around and around. They just keep going around and round. We're watching fascinated. This is incredible. How can this be? What are they doing? Then, just when we think it's over, they go inside the gate and we think, oh no. But no. They start walking up and down their veranda like this, like, oh. Their arms are going and they're talking in this very animated manner. Then she goes over and stands at the steps, evil-eyeing the car like it's, and he gets on the mobile and starts calling someone clearly about the car. Well, who can he be calling about a car nearly at midnight? We don't know. Anyway, we're watching this, absolutely, it's incredible. Now, you're probably thinking this couple are old, aren't you? That's what old people do in the neighbourhood. They make sure everything's going well. These people were not in their 80s or their 70s or their 60s or their 50s or their 40s or even their 30s. They were in their late 20s, and it was Friday night. So, on Friday night, someone in their late 20s, early 20s, they should be out having fun. They should be at a bar. They should be at a party. They should be with their friends. They should be having dinner. And if they don't want to go out, if they're little introverts, then they should be having a romantic dinner at home, watching a video together, or at least having sex, because when you're 20, you can still enjoy it. But they were not. They were harassing a little yellow car. So, we're standing on the veranda by this time thinking this is pretty amusing, when they start the whole thing again. They come back out the gate, they go round and round the car, they go back onto the veranda, they do the whole thing. By this time we've been watching 45 minutes and we are wetting ourselves. What are they doing? They're crazy. And we just don't know what to make. We can't talk. We're laughing so much. So we laugh, and we just think these guys are idiots. They're complete idiots. Who would do that? And I'm trying to talk, and I'm trying to gasp out, who would do that? When suddenly I knew who would do that, and I stopped laughing. Me. I would do that. In fact, I was watching myself. These people were me. And I had this moment of like a suburban epiphany in the street, late at night, about a yellow car, and saw, that's me. That's what I do. When something goes wrong, when people hurt me, when I might not have quite said the right thing, which happens often, I'm sad to say, when something in the future's worrying me, in any of these sort of situations where I maybe didn't choose the right title for my talk, I go round and round and round that little thing, and I pull on it and I push on it and I try and open it and I shut it. And then I walk away because I'm a big girl, and then I go straight back out and start yanking on the doors again. And while I'm doing that, I'm ringing my friends. Hello, guess what so-and-so did or said, or what happened 5 years ago that I'm still going on about because it pissed me off so much, or carrying on about the future, or fretting about whatever it is that I'm fretting about, that I was doing it. Oh, they were me. And I do it on a Friday night. I don't go have fun. I don't go have sex, because I've got a lot to worry about and a lot to be stressed about and a lot to be unhappy about. So I don't go do all these things because there's too much on my mind. Anyway, so I have this moment of revelation. I turned to my husband and I said, honey, listen, when something happens that I can't do anything about, something that happened in the past, something that might happen in the future, something that I cannot take any action on, remind me about tonight. Tell me it's a yellow car. And he's looking very delighted. God, she's finally realised she's a maniac. He was very happy. And he says, I will. And so that's what we have now. We have yellow cars. We don't have problems anymore. When I start being my crazy self, he's just like, hello, it's just a yellow car. I go, oh, I know immediately what he means, and I calm right down. So number 3, happiness killer is harassing yellow cars. But wait, there's more. There is more to this story, and I thoughtfully put it in a book for you. Oh, look, it's under here. How amazing. This is launching today, first time ever. It's been on sale anywhere. And I'll be doing a book signing. First time I've done that too. But if you buy the book at this event, we've got a very special happiness event, you will get a set of 5 little yellow car cards that says, it's a yellow car on the back. This is a survival kit so that you don't be a moron. Thank you.
If you go to this supermarket and shouting, I want to buy peace of mind, then people laughing, or people feel that person's mind is something wrong.
Now, this word connections is a really interesting one, because our kids today are more connected than ever.
Of course, then when you're in an institution, people call you up. They tell you to perk up. Yeah, perk up, because I didn't think of that.
I should have a happiness project, I decided. As soon as I have some free time, I'm going to do that.